with Michael DeLessio from Promo Guys Marketing. Now, I'm sure you guys have been to events before where you walk into this amazingly huge convention, but there's always one or two booths that really catch your attention. Now, for me, that was definitely over here with Michael, and Michael is a person in charge of creating these masterpieces. So, Michael, tell us a little bit about where we are. What are we seeing around us right now?
Well, we're at the 2K Games booth, and this year we decided to do at PAX 3 separate games in a 40 by 50 space, and we wanted to bring the people who are coming into the game experience. So what we ended up doing was, instead of just having a lot of kiosks around that are just kind of generic, we let the fans come in and become part of the game itself.
Fantastic. Now, each one of these sets, how long does it take to set something up?
Well, the setting up is actually the quick part. It takes about 2 days, 2.5 days, but we only had a day and a half to do it. So we're here till 2:30 in the morning, every morning, and back at 6. But it's the design and manufacturing of them that takes a lot of time. And it's because we want to go to the attention to the detail. If you're here at Meltzer's office, which is a teaser site for somethinginthesea.com for Bioshock 2, if you go down to every single piece of paper and every shoelace on the floor, everything is exactly laid out as to where it is on the teaser site online. And that ends up helping out tremendously for the fans. They feel like they're really in the experience. And we have people walking in and flipping through books and reading articles that we custom wrote with our sister company to be able to have them experience what Meltzer was going through when he was looking for the little sisters.
Very nice, very nice. Well, so since we're speaking about Meltzer's office, why don't we head on in and have a little look around?
Okay, great.
All right. All right. I've got to say, I'm so excited. I think our fans at home at this point are probably tired of me saying this, but Bioshock and Bioshock 2, my favorite games. Absolutely so excited about this. So walk us through Meltzer's office. I feel like I'm really there.
Well, you actually are in Meltzer's office. Every single piece here is represented from the period piece that we took the art from. For instance, on the credenza over here, we actually have the record playing that he was listening to when he disappeared. We have a couple of puzzles that he had to solve to try and find out where the little sisters are. If you look over at the desk area, all of his work that he was doing his individual research is pinpoint, spot on, accurate on the board. And if you read it, it's real articles about it.
Amazing. Now, I see there's a lot of things that are just kind of laying around. Now, are these things people can actually come in and touch them?
Oh, absolutely. You can come in, you can pick up the papers, you can read the articles. We actually have a puzzle here. If you solve the puzzle, you get another clue. So we have options for people to come in and interact. If you're looking on the typewriter, what's typewritten on the typewriter is actually messages that have been put there by 2K Games that are on their teaser site. Open up the file cabinet, go in there, find out. Take your books. These aren't just books from an antique store. These are custom-made books that we did for the set. And if you read through those books, you'll get some clues.
That's absolutely amazing. Now, I have a question. You might not want to answer this, but how much would something like this cost to put together?
Well, you know, I can't really put a cost on it. I could, but I won't because it's my client's business. But what I can do is tell you that 2K has really spared no expense when they came to us and said, we want to make the experience great for our fans. We want to make sure that when they're there, they're getting their dollar's worth for waiting on the line outside. So in actuality, the cost isn't really the main thing. It's the time and the effort and the design. There's a gentleman who works with me, Jared DiVincenzo, who spent weeks and weeks going to every antique store, everywhere from New Jersey, where we're based, all the way out to Seattle, looking for the right antiques. If it was slightly off from the picture, we didn't get it. We had to find the exact one that Meltzer was working on back in the 1960s.
It's amazing. Now, how much percentage-wise is it between things that you found and things that you've actually created for the set?
It's about 30% what we found, and then the 70% is actually what we created. Everything from the actual set itself to the furniture. This is an exact replication of what's on the website, but in actuality, it's Hollywood set. So you can you open the drawer on this? No, you can't. But yet, when you sit down at the desk, it actually feels like you're there where he was writing.
Fantastic. Now, this is only one of 3 different locations we have here in the 2K booth.
4 different locations.
4.
Yeah, we don't spare an expense when it comes to it. We actually have 3 games. We have Bioshock 2, we have Mafia 2, and then we have Borderlands. And of course, Borderlands has been the big hit this year because we have a playable for it. But for Bioshock, we sectioned it into 2 areas. We have a Bioshock theater that makes you feel like you're in Rapture, and then we have the Meltzer office. So 50% of the booth was given to this game, and we really wanted to make sure that we know it's going to be a huge game next year when it launches.
Yeah.
We wanted to make sure that the fans could go through and interact here and then go see what they're going to be seeing in the game.
Fantastic idea. Now, let's head over to Borderlands. You mentioned how popular that was.
Oh, it's popular.
Let's go over and check out that booth. Follow
Fantastic.
us. All right, we're here at the Borderlands part of the 2K booth. this year. So when you walk in, you kind of feel like you're in an old West sort of feeling.
Well,
like
actually, don't think of it as Old West. Think of it more like Future West, like Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome type area. That's the mentality that I had in my head when I was taking their artwork. And what they do is 2K works with Gearbox. Gearbox is the developer on the game, 2K is the publisher. What happens is they give me some stills from the game. They're pretty much either concept art or they're actual stills from the game. And I said, okay, let's build this set. Down to every single crack in the floor of the desert floor, we go ahead and build the set out for them.
Now, what is this desert floor made out of? Because we're on carpet here, and then all of a sudden we're on gravel.
This is a limited edition vinyl printed floor. It's very hard to get. You have to get it done in Holland, actually, because you need such a large press to run the vinyl through. And it's great because we're able to print whatever we want on it, but yet we make it the actual floor from the video game. We're not doing the floor just a generic sand floor. We took the art that Leslie Zinn from 2K provided us and actually printed it out here. So you feel like you're in the wastelands.
Wow.
Now, the rocks,
yes,
those are fun. We could have easily just done some kiosks. And like I said before, I don't want to do that. I want to make you feel like you're playing as part of the game because Gearbox put so much effort into the art that we want to make sure that the fans realize that they're in a Gearbox game with 2K Games' touch on top of it. These rocks are actually made out of styrofoam, chicken wire, and wood. What we do is we use the spray foam that you would use to insulate your house, and we expand it out, and then using artistic touches, we carve it, shape it, spray paint, so there's like 12 layers of paint on this thing. And then we create a skeleton for all the game systems. So when you're playing it, you forget you're in PAX, which is what we want. We want you to feel like you're one of the main characters here.
Nice. Now, speaking of skeletons, is that one of your old ex-employees up there?
That is one of my ex-employees who was late coming out to PAX this year, so, you know, we had to cue him.
I had a feeling that's what it was. It had that look of sorrow in his eyes. I also see some actors walking around.
Right. We're not one of these companies that likes to do booth babes. There's a difference. You can have a booth babe and you can have a woman out there who's dressed maybe a little objectified. And to me, that's really not fair to the women fans because everyone thinks that video game fans are only guys. We have a lot of women fans. But what we do is we actually take the characters from the game, we get them, we dress them up, we spend a lot of money on the costumes and on the makeup. In actuality, they become great backdrops for pictures, and people don't feel like they're just standing next to a pretty woman. They're really feeling like they're standing part of a game.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're great too. They're great actors. They really get into the characters.
Well, they're trained. We put them through a training boot camp. In actuality, my background is acting, so I take them through what they need to do, how they need to act. They're not pretty girls, yeah, I'll take your picture. They're pretty girls who are like, I'm tough. I was raised in a wasteland. Everything is about commodity. I know my body's going to sell, but I'm going to be a hard ass with you at the same time. So there's this sensitivity between sexy and hardcore.
So what has the reaction been from people who have come through these booths so far?
The only thing we got up on the first day were the fences, and these are these corrugated fences. All we had were the fences up, and fans are like, wow, this is going to be awesome. So to me, they realized that they're not just coming in for structured steel and some banners. They're like, I'm here. Now that we got the whole thing set up and we've been on day 2 of PAX, they don't want to leave. We're only doing 10-minute demos, but they want to stay for the hour or the 2 hours because they forget they're at a larger show. You know, there's a term, busting the clutter, and what we're doing here is busting the clutter, I believe.
Awesome. Let's head on to the next area.
Sure.
Very cool. You know what? I decided instead of going to a booth, I figured we'd just hit up a bar instead.
Well, why not? I mean, we are an Italian company, so we should go to Mafia.
Oh, that sounds like a good idea.
All right, great.
All right, let's go there. All right. Wait a minute. Is this a set or is this a bar?
No, it's a bar that, well, actually, it's a set. What we did was we took the stills from the game and we took down to the wallpaper, the positioning of the fish, everything, and we made it where we're going to do the demonstrations. So we custom built a bar. This is not a bar you can go to Raymore and Flanagan to buy. This is a custom Hollywood set. Same thing with the back. And we want people to feel like they're going to the bar and going to be sitting here and wondering, our Tommy gun's going to be going off. Our bullet's going to be flying. Am I going to be shot? That's what we want. We also got a very attitudinal bartender who, if you know the right password, which today was Frankie sent me, if you know that password, you might have gotten a t-shirt, you might get a nice Mafia 2 fedora.